Hi, Genki Call here with the Gems of Lore world event for the week of September 5th, 2022. But first, the lore. We collected some sapphire shards from the new giants. Unfamiliar with them, Keghammer suggested we meet with a scholar, Faker the Wise in the Drifting Sands, who knew more about gemstones than dwarves and gnomes combined. Bum bum, gems of lore. That's funny. Faker the Wise agreed to help us if we could gather some crystals guarded by creatures in the underworld. We gladly agreed. Defeat monsters in the underworld and gather crystals for Faker. So before we go on to all of the other things, let's go over the scoring. And the scoring is dum bum ba. Here we go. Very, very easy. Basically, everything is worth the exact same amount of points, except that the higher levels give you more points. So basically, grab whatever fight, pick a fight, keep doing that one, whether it's higher or lower. It's subsequent fights. It doesn't necessarily mean higher. That's a little confusing, but pick one fight if you can. Just keep doing that one enemy. Otherwise, just pick the highest level on the screen. So easy peasy. Let me take that down. Boop. All right. So in the shop, the troops that you can get in here, they're all Drifting Sands troops, which means that I don't want to fight any of these. Okay, the mythics you can get are Shabana Vespera or Scorpius if you are very, very lucky. You can get everything you see here except for Queen Beetrix and the other Deep Hive troops. Everything else here is fair game. You could possibly get in the shop if you're very, very lucky. You could get one of these. So good luck to you. I hope you pull a mythic. That would be awesome. As for teams, I have teams here starting off with for people with no legendaries. If you have Queen Beatrix, she's going to be fantastic for this. Death Scrap, Grasp. There's nothing really good for mana generation except for Sharpfang. If you have Sharpfang, that would be best because it will get you some mana, but you would have to craft that in the Soul Forge in order to have it. What I've got here is one that is available to everyone. It will do damage to all enemies, to Sandrunners and Trihorn. If you don't have Trihorn or if you don't have two Sandrunners, you can throw in something else. For instance, you could put in the Desert Troll or the Desert Worm that will create a bunch of yellow gems. In place of Trihorn would be best, but if you have two Sandrunners, that'll be great. Elementalist, because it's the safest class, and so the teams that have no legendaries on them will have Elementalists, but I'm changing it because I need to level other things. So we'll go ahead and do this. My Elementalist is maxed out, so we'll do something else for me specifically. But Sandrunner is great. Damage to two enemies, plus a third one gets, what is it, double damage? Double damage to the third one, so yeah, it's quite useful. These enemies, though, I don't like these enemies that we're fighting. I'm gonna do one more with that team. Oopsie, I just made a mistake. I'm sorry, I'm trying to copy the next team. And then, well, the next team is so similar. We'll just go ahead and switch to the next team. So Hive Mind is going to steal magic from you. Shagar F is going to silence things. Queen Sochi is going to do damage to all enemies and explode things if there's a storm. Queen Sochi, does that have... It does. It has the Blade Wing. I would highly recommend avoiding the Queen Sochi fights if you can, because Blade Wing can insta-kill you if there is a storm, and Harpy Mage creates a storm. So I really recommend avoiding this fight if possible and doing other things. So I guess I'll go for Shagarath next. But the next team here is utilizing the Desert Troll. It's going to double the number of yellow on the board and then create 3 more yellow. It's just like the forest troll, only for yellow. Again with Death's Grasp and me changing the class because I want the class experience. So, let's take this in and I may do a couple of battles with this. I would really like to cast with this, except that there's no yellow on the board. Let's just go ahead and do that. I mean, it's pretty easy to see what this team is going to do, but Zero Dar, yes, this one creates skulls. It's a skull spamming team, but that's okay. If you use Elementalists, it's not going to be that big a deal because you get them all entangled, so I'd really like to be able to show you. Alright, well this will do. I mean, there are only 8, which isn't great. If you can get 13 or more, you're pretty much, you have a very, very high chance of looping when you do it. But look, we can get some mana here, give them a match 4. We'll just go ahead and do that, and sure, I'll take some skulls. And we'll do this, and done. Nice! Alright, next team. Now we get to the stuff with Queen Beetrix, and let me copy that, and I do have a team with no Queen Beetrix on it, but the rest of the teams do have Queen Beetrix. So, we'll do Avoid, we'll do, I just did Shagar F, right? A little bit ago, so I haven't done the Great Worm, so I'm going to avoid him. We'll do Shagar F, and here's what I've got for you. Paste. Yeah, I know, this is weird. It's all the same colors. You know, using 3 Queen Beetrix is nothing new. I have the Sharpfang here because it's going to blow up brown gems, and she's going to create a bunch of brown gems. She'll feed herself and the rest of the team, and you should be able to, as long as you have enchant, you should be able to loop with this team very nicely, despite them all using blue and green. So I chose Rune Priest. You can choose something like Archer that has a Leaf Storm. That would be even more helpful because you have the explosion at the start if you have a couple of tiers in the shop. But let's do this. We'll get some blue. Not enough. There we go. Of course, this is going to wipe out the other team, but I think it will loop very nicely. I do. Let's do another Shagarath with the same team, and then I'll switch to the next team, which does not use Queen Beetrix. And then I'll have 2 more teams after that. So, well, you know what? They can take the skulls. I'm okay with that. Do that. And let's see how this goes. It wipes them out. Of course it's going to wipe them out. I'm still not high enough level. If you have Queen Bee, you know, she's really going to rock this event. And if you don't have Queen Bee, if you've got some Chaos Shards, go to the Deep Hive and try to get her with some Chaos Shards. She is a fantastic troop. She is a game changer for sure. Absolutely changed my game when I got her. So manage paste. Here is the team that has no Beetrix on it. So we've got the Great Maw. It is a guaranteed devour as long as they are not immune to it. If they're immune, just don't cast on that troop, cast on something else. But the idea is to use the Great Maw as a tank. It'll grab or add to all of these. It will take their amounts of each of these and add it to its own, so it can sit up here and hit things with skulls and keep the skulls away from the rest of your team. We've got Obregonia that's going to do damage to all enemies, also get you some a little bleed, and Trihorn will mess up their team and hit all of the enemies, and then the Sharpfang. You put a second Obregonia here. You can do whatever you want with this 3rd slot. It's just an idea. It's not ideal. It's not an ideal team. Queen Beetrix is ideal, but not everybody has her, not everybody can get her. So this is another option. Look at that, I'm almost full already. I'm gonna go ahead and take that and watch this. We're gonna chomp. Let's make sure this isn't immune. I thought it wasn't, but we're gonna do this and chomp. Alright, Trihorn. And Obregonia should be able to finish this off. Let's get some mana for the team. And Obregonia for the win. Hehe. It's not terrible. It's not. It's not terrible. So the next one is again utilizing the Great Maw, but a little bit more efficiently. So we're going to do this. Again, I'm using Rune Priest because I need to level it. It will give me a Dust Storm every time an enemy dies. It will also give me a barrier on match 4s for my hero. Honeydipper is just because, you know, it's there and I can, and Queen Beetrix will feed the Honeydipper with her brown. Honeydipper is the class weapon. I'm sorry, not the class weapon. Class weapon is Dancing Daggers. This is the faction weapon, which is only going to be available tomorrow on Tuesday. During the faction assault. It will be in the Soul Forge, but it will also be in the faction assault shop for gems. But, you know, it's something to put in there. Might. You can put any weapon you want in here, really. You can put Sharpfang in here. Sharpfang would be fantastic. Probably better than the Honeydipper, but, you know, I don't want to just put the same thing every time, and there's a lot of repeating things here, mainly Queen Beetrix, but I digress. I'm not digressing, actually. I am waxing poetic about things that you already know. Ah! Alright, let's get some mana. We want to take yellow off the board if we can, because we don't want this to run away. If you're going to use the Great Maw route, I recommend getting rid of Zero Dar because he's going to Death Mark. And I don't know. Let's do that again. One more time on that, and then I will show you the final team. Copy. Alright. We'll do Shagar F again, and let's go ahead and show this one more time, and then I'll show you the team with Scorpius. I am not doing a Shabanu team because it's not ideal for this kingdom to use Shabanu because of the colors. I mean, you could try, I just don't think it would work out very well. Alright, well, we'll take green, and whom shall we eat? This one has skull damage reduction, so I think I'll take that one. Do this. Shagar F silences, but it's the first and last enemies, and I'm not worried about my first troop here getting silenced, so... Oh, that's Honeydipper, that's right. I forgot. I forgot. This is not, right. Sharpfang, I think, would be better. But, like I said, something different. And we'll do this. Get rid of them. I really think that this is not the best weapon for this, but it's an option. Then we've got, finally, Scorpius, and we'll do King Minos. No, I didn't mean to do that! Now, something to keep in mind with King Minos, this team is going to screw up the order of your team. This is not one of them. But he's going to jumble the enemy team. This one's going to move things around, so yeah, you won't be able to keep the Great Maw at the front of the team, so maybe not the best choice. But, you know, I can at least do that. Okay, one more battle. One more. I will explain to you how the Scorpius team works, and... Aw, this is boring. I guess we'll do Shagar F again, and manage paste. This one is using Dervish as well, because he's a monster. That makes this a monster. I did that again. Seriously? I did not mean to do that. This is the second time tonight I've done that. Alright. Sharpfang again for Sharpfang, right? Random status effect monsters, but I need to level other things. So I'm just going to switch it to that because it's close by. Sky Scorpion's going to poison and drain mana from all enemies. I put it at the front because I don't care if it gets killed once I cast. It will also poison doing skull damage, but here's how it works. I mean, Queen Beetrix can do it, but on higher levels, Scorpius can insta-kill. You just have to be sure that they're not immune to poison like this guy is. So this guy is not, this one's not, and this one is. So not the best choice. However, yeah, I just don't know. I mean, you could change your teams back and forth. Personally, I like to grab one team and just use it throughout. But the way that you will use this team, don't cast with this until Scorpius is full up. Seriously, don't cast it because the poison will wear off and then you won't be able to insta-kill with him. It'll just do damage to 2 enemies, and that is a lot of mana for doing 2 enemies, or for hitting 2 enemies. So let's try that again. Random sound effect. Let's get some mana for Scorpius. I don't want to cast with Beetrix this time because it will kill them right away. I'm just trying to show you for higher levels here. Come on, give me. Thank you. Alright, so here's what you do. You cast with this. Then you insta-kill with Scorpius. Yes, and that did work here. And then you use Queen Bee to fill him up again. This is for the higher levels. Just don't take Scorpius in against things that are immune to poison, unless you're using Elementalist class or War Priest that can stun the enemies, because he's not going to insta-kill it otherwise. But anyway, that is what I've got for you for the world event. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know your favorite teams below. Also, let me know if you have been trying Faker the Wise. I did not think to use him, so if he's been helpful, let me know. I'd love to hear it. Anyway, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you folks soon. Bye-bye!